Greetings, traveler. Let me tell you a story. A story about the dark spirit monastery guardian here invading. I'm going to tell you a real story behind these invasions. You see, I'm about to lore dump all over you about the truth. A truth nuke. That's what the kids are calling it these days. See, at the heart of this invasion story is a story about two brothers. Their names were Kevin and Jim Bob. See, one day in 2013, they were playing Call of Duty Ghosts in their mother's basement. And they realized something while playing it. It kinda sucked. See, Jim Bob and Kevin were playing Call of Duty all these years and were in utter disbelief that their newest Call of Duty wasn't fun. Their whole world was in disarray. They could always count on the latest Call of Duty to be a classic full of fun matches, trash talking, and double XP weekends. But this one wasn't. With no other choice, they decided to return the game to GameStop and got $15 in trade-in rewards. The cashier recommended a game called Dark Souls. That very day, Kevin and Jim Bob were playing Dark Souls on their 6-year-old Xbox 360. And for the next few months, they were hooked. They remember playing through the game so many times. Once with a Drake sword, another with a Claymore, and another with a Zweihander. So many times the two brothers played through Dark Souls, and they would take turns every so often, summoning, invading, and beating Gwyn. They had the best fun ever. It was a true bonding experience for the two brothers. Then when Dark Souls 2 came out, they didn't play it because they heard it sucked. So they just kept playing Dark Souls 1 and Madden until Dark Souls 3 came out, and their online buddy said it was a good game. So they got an Xbox One and played Dark Souls 3 a dozen or so times in their mother's basement. Kevin would use the Irithyll straight sword with the Fallen Knight set, and Jim Bob, well, he was just kind of following his brother's footsteps. See, Kevin was always the more popular brother. Kevin's builds became really popular in the Dark Souls communities, that a lot of people would copy Kevin's build, so much so that they would all start calling themselves Kevin in solidarity. Eventually, the two brothers got older and left their mother's basement and lived on their own. Years went by and the Pontiff Sullivan gangs became a thing of the past. Then Elden Ring came out, and the two brothers got to play it again on their PS5s because the two brothers thought it would have games. But that's a story for another day. In Elden Ring, Kevin would go with the Radon armor and his blasphemous blade. And Jim Bob, well, it was the Bloodhound Fang and the Bulgo set for that brother. With Elden Ring reinvigorating their love of Souls games, the two brothers decided it was time to finally play the dreaded
Dark Souls 2.
Jim Bob this time was going to step out of his brother's shadow. Kevin, who was using the Drain Lake set, Vanguard Helm, and Guts Greatsword, wasn't quite what Jim Bob was looking for. Jim Bob had found out about the Monastery set that resembled the Painting Guardian set from Dark Souls 1. And it reminded Jim Bob of that game and was nostalgic for it. He was yearning for something of the past. He found out that all he had to do was fight a Painting Guardian in New Game Plus for the set. So he bonfire aesthetic all his keep for it in order to get the set. And he got the sword. It was a magnificent curved sword. But then Jim Bob realized that he would have to farm the set as a random drop from the Guardian, and then fight the Guardian Dragon every time. So he did that again and 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 again. He eventually kept trying to get the entire set. His final tally after 12 bonfire aesthetics in 3 hours? 3 scimitars, 5 headpieces, and 1 shirt. He was so distraught and out of bonfire aesthetics. So he called up his brother Kevin, and Kevin told him that he could just drop the entire set for him, since some random invader gave him the whole set and a pair of the scimitars. So Jim Bob made a new character, got to his brother's Kevin's soul memory of 800,000, since after 12 Guardian Dragon fights, Jim Bob was at 16 million and didn't know about the agape ring. And Kevin dropped the entire set for Jim Bob to use and 99 red orbs. That, my friend, is the story of the Monastery Guardian Dark Spirit. So I warn you, traveler, if you see the message, invaded by Dark Spirit Jim Bob 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 Bob, I suggest you just quit out, because you're about to get owned. Look at this guy. He doesn't realize it, but Jim Bob's already won the match. He should have disconnected right now, but it's too late. Have pity for him, Jim Bob. No.